So then, now we have everything ready and set up inside this project folder to start using Babel. First of all, we installed those two Babel packages, the CLI and the core, and also we installed this Babel preset which will now handle how our code is converted. So now we can start to use the Babel CLI to actually do something. So what it's going to do is take one JavaScript file that we write with modern syntax such as const and arrow functions or classes and all that jazz, and then it will convert it into another JavaScript file which will be an older version of that code, and it will work in all browsers. So first of all, let us create a new file that we're going to create our modern JavaScript inside. So inside chapter 19, create a new file. We'll call this before.js because this is the code before it's being transformed. So inside here, I'm just going to say const greet, which is a modern feature, is equal to an arrow function, takes in a parameter, and this arrow function again is a modern feature. And inside here, we're just going to console.log, and we'll log out a template string, hello, and then the name. So this is three modern features. We have the const, the arrow function, and the template string right here. We're now just going to call that function greet like so. Okay, so this is ultimately the file that we want to convert into JavaScript that does work in all browsers, so an older version of this. So to do that, we're going to use the Babel CLI, and CLI just stands for Command Line Interface, and it means we can run Babel down here in the terminal. So we're going to be using this Babel CLI to convert this code into a new file. Now the Babel CLI binary is inside the node modules folder, inside the bin directory right here. So if we want to use the Babel command down here in the terminal, first of all we need to navigate to that directory in the terminal. So we're going to say node modules, and by the way, make sure you're in the chapter 9 directory at the minute like me. So we'll say node underscore modules and then /bin to go into this bin directory, and then /Babel, and that accesses the Babel binary. So now after this, we pass it two things. The file that we create, which is before.js, and that is the thing we want to convert, then the file we want to convert it to. So I'm going to say before.js, that's the thing we want to convert. Then we do -o to say where the output will be. So that's what this means, -o, and the output file is going to be a file called after.js. So if we run this now, Babel right here is going to take this file before, it's going to run through it and convert it into old code and spit it out into after.js. So let's run this now, press enter and see if this works. And notice over here now we have after.js. And you can see that now we have var instead of const, we have a normal function instead of an arrow function, and we have this concat method instead of a template literal. So that's done the work now. So when we come to upload our JavaScript to a web host, we'd upload this JavaScript because this is the stuff that is fully compatible with all browsers. So now whenever we want to convert our code, all we do is we update our actual code, our modern code, then we rerun this command right here. So we take in a before.js or whatever the file name is called that you want to convert, and then -o to specify the output, and then whatever you want to call the output file, wherever it's going to be going to. So there's one more thing I want to talk about before I finish this video, and that is this node modules folder right here. So remember, this node modules folder, this is where all of the third-party package code lives. So if we install a package, it lives inside this node modules folder. Now, if I was to ever send my project to another developer or upload it to GitHub, then I wouldn't send or upload this node modules folder. Every other file or folder I would send or upload, but not the node modules one because it's so huge. It contains a lot of code in it. And to send this to someone else or to upload this to GitHub would take a long time because it's so big. But then I just said that we need this node modules folder for our packages to run because that's where they're installed. So if I don't send or upload this folder with my project, how will another developer run this project correctly without that folder? Well, they can't. They need to get that folder back and reinstall all of those things. But that's simple thanks to our package.json file down here. Remember, the package.json file keeps track of all the packages that we install for this project. So when a developer gets this project without the node modules folder, they can still see inside the package.json file what packages need to be installed right here. Now they don't have to install each one individually. They can do them all together by just using one command, and that is npm install. And this reinstalls all the packages inside package.json and creates a node modules folder for them again. So now everything would work. So I'm telling you this because if you were to download the course files for this chapter from my GitHub repository, then you won't see the node modules folder in those course files. You'll have to navigate to the project directory, chapter 19, in the terminal, and then you would have to run npm install to install all of these packages right there, and that will create the node modules folder for you. So let me just demo this. What I'm going to do is just close things off over here. I'm going to right click this and I'm going to go to delete. So that deletes the node modules folder, so it's no longer there. Now all you need to do is come into chapter 19, then say npm install, like that, press enter. That looks inside the package.json file, finds all of these things right here, and it installs them all for you. And now we see that node modules folder again. So now everything would work again.